Hi, my name is Eric Blackburn. This is my EDL 853 Module 4 Special Education Interviews post. The first question to examine child find procedures used within our district. For our administrator, teacher, and para that I interviewed, the administrator serves as both our principal and superintendent in a small district. The teacher is our kindergarten through, pre-K through fifth grade special ed teacher, although this year she's been tasked with also taking on the sixth and seventh graders. And then I interviewed a para within her room. All three of them talked about the Count Your Kid In screening that we used, as well as parent questionnaires. The administrator and the teacher talked about our use of Ames Web Plus to basically to screen kids and figure out where they're at. Additionally, from there we go on to our GEI team. We've got a school psych. We also have use of early identification done within the classrooms and in the classrooms, I guess how you would say that. The most challenging part of their role, the administrator stated the most challenging part of her role was balancing the time. Serving as both the principal and the superintendent. If one of those things gets dropped, it's got to be the principal side, and therefore sometimes we do lack some presence and some support, but that's understood. I mean, if you drop the superintendent side, that closes our district. She talked about offering support throughout the building, and then the challenges again with the dual position. The teacher talked about that the most challenging part of her job is just the time and the scheduling. You've got all these different classrooms that she's got to support kids within as well as her own, and just finding time to meet with those teachers, visit with them, find out what's needed, how the student's doing, and just being able to maximize time. The para talked about the most challenging part of her job is the constant change. Every class, every period she's in a different class, and each teacher is needing something different from her, so she's just needing to constantly be flexible. The most rewarding part of the job for the administrator, she talked about student growth, seeing the students come through, and then seeing where they started a lot of times, where we're able to get them, the wonderful results we're able to experience within our building for them. The individual teacher talked about, again, the student growth, specifically when she sees kids that she's had early on in their career, or her career, that are now adults, and letting her know how they're functioning in life and the gains they've made, things they've been able to do. The para talked about the light bulb clicking for students and how whenever she's working with them and that aha moment, she also said it was very rewarding being a part of a team, the one team working towards the goal of just finding the most success for each student. SPED supervision advice. The administrator talked about remembering that everyone is working towards the same goal. We are on one team, that although we may not necessarily see the end goal as one way to get there, it's important to understand that everybody is invested in these kids, and that sometimes our emotions get in the way, and we need to remember we're here for these kids, and everybody is trying to do their best. The teacher talked about the need for open communication, and that the kids must constantly come first. We can't worry about ourselves or what's going on necessarily in our individual classroom. We've got to focus on the kids. The para talked about making sure we're all doing our best, and again, making sure we communicate. When talking about how to effectively work with parents, the administrator hit on regular communication. It's important for her to not only know the students, but also know the parents. If she's going to be an active member of the team and be involved in our IEP meetings and things like that, she has to know the parents as well as knowing the kids. They're going to be able to trust her. She has to know them. The teacher said the most important thing and how to effectively communicate with them and work with them was to don't judge. We have these kids for 8 hours a day at most. The parents have the other 16, and that can be really hard. And so it's important to know that they are trying to do their best. Excuse me. The para talked about the best and most important thing to do is to treat the students how you'd want your own kids treated, knowing that she doesn't typically work with the parents, but she does know that as a parent of young kids, that she just wants to make sure that her kids are always treated how she'd want her own kids treated. How to effectively work with teachers. Admin again hit on communication. We need to continue to remember that students come first. We have to be flexible, and we have to utilize all resources. That could be paper, pencil resources, technology, bodies, just different people throughout the building. The teacher talked about we need to communicate. If there's not communication with teachers in the special ed department, things aren't going to move forward. We're not going to see great successes. And also the importance of meeting to discuss about the kids. What do we need to do? What needs to be changed? What's working well? What could we apply to other kids? The para talked about needing to meet with teachers to see what they need from her. If she goes into the fourth grade classroom, that teacher might want different things from her than the fifth grade teacher. So it's important she knows what her expectations are, again, hitting on the different role in each class. Advice for a first year administrator. The administrator said we need to ask questions, find a mentor teacher, or find a mentor administrator. If you're in a small building like she is, where she's the only principal, she needs to find another district where somebody can assist her, and also to remember to lose the ego. At the end of the day, it may not be what you're hoping it is, or you might get your feelings hurt, but it's not about the administrator. It's about the kids. The special ed teacher hit on the most important thing is to be present. And the para said that people need to get to know the para staff, to include them. A lot of times they're treated, she felt like as second class citizens, maybe not included in things. But they're an important part of the staff. Without them, we can't function well. And that make sure that those administrators are visiting the SPED room. On the SPED teacher and principal roles, the administrator talked about the SPED teacher being one of our greatest resources. We need to make sure we harness all that they can offer, and also that she serves to remove barriers so that the students can best be served. If there's a barrier, we need to make sure she's involved in removing it, make sure that we're following all laws, regulations, rules, all those sort of things. The SPED teacher talked about that both the principal and the teacher serve as advocates, and they must work together for the students hand in hand. They've got to be on the same team at all times. And the para says they must be partners and fight for the students. Characteristics of a desired administrator. The administrator stated that she would want someone that was supportive, has knowledge of the laws and the regulations governing special education services, and someone with a passion for helping kids and understanding that all kids can succeed. The SPED teacher stated that she wants an administrator that's present in her classroom, there to support her. Someone that also has a positive perception of special education. Someone that's a people person, knows how to manage conflict both with students, with parents, and with other staff members. Someone that is knowledgeable in the SPED policies and procedures. The special ed para stated she wants someone that's supportive of all students and also willing to have the tough conversations that need to be had with teachers as well as other students to ensure that students are being best served. Thank you for viewing my video and have a good one.